Hi, Rhema. It's week 36, day 4 of our Bible narrative reading plan. Today we are in Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2 picks up in that chronological story of where we've been in the Gospel of Luke. We've seen the birth of Christ. Matthew 2 gives us details that Luke doesn't give us. And so we sometimes run these stories all together because they are one big story, the story of Christ. But Luke didn't feel the need to include this, but Matthew does. Matthew has a different purpose. He has different things that he's doing with what he writes. So he feels it's important for us to see that even as Luke confirms that Jesus is the answer to prophecies of the Old Testament, Matthew is pointing out that he is an answer, a fulfillment of even more. And so in the book of Psalms 72, I believe, Psalm 72 said that foreign kings, that Gentiles would worship this newborn child, this promised Messiah. And we see that here in Matthew 2. We see the visit of the Magi, of the wise men. Now remember, we don't know how many came. We just know that they brought 3 different gifts. And they come and they worship this newborn child, Jesus. But they go to the place you would expect to find the King of the Jews, in the palace. And when they get there, they find that he's not there, but there's a different king. And we know that this different king, King Herod, is not happy about someone saying, hey, we're looking for the King of the Jews, and you're not it. And so he's worried about a political threat. We know that Herod is a very wicked man. But these kings from afar, these wise men, they go and worship this newborn child, Jesus. And then as they leave, they understand that they're not supposed to go back the way they came. They're not supposed to cooperate with this current king in the palace. They're not supposed to cooperate with Herod. And so they depart a different way. And then Joseph, being a godly father, he's seeking to protect his family. And the angel of the Lord, who's been so instrumental in Joseph's life there in chapter 1 of Matthew, now in chapter 2, this angel again speaks to Joseph and says, look, you've got to get out of here, because this wicked king is not happy about the news of a different king, a new king in town. And so Joseph takes his family and they flee to Egypt. And we see that that's a fulfillment of prophecy. Verse 18, this was to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet, out of Egypt I called my son. And then Herod is so furious, he's so angry that he has been duped, that these wise men did not come back, they did not cooperate with him. And he's so angry that he goes to the town of Bethlehem, and he orders that all children under the age of 2 are going to be murdered, to be executed. Now you might ask, why would it be all children under the age of 2? That lets us know that some time has passed. When the wise men showed up, they may not have seen baby Jesus, they may have seen toddler Jesus. We know that Herod is setting 2 years old as that high mark. He's saying it's going to be 2 or under, and he's not letting any child under 2 survive. Now in a town like Bethlehem, it may have been as few as 20 compared to the population of a great city like Jerusalem, but this is a sorrowful, a tragic murder by Herod, and even this fulfills prophecy. Verse 17, Matthew makes clear that Jeremiah had also prophesied this. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be comforted because they are no more. So we have here in Matthew chapter 2 the tale of 2 kings. One king, a wicked, vile king, Herod, and he is not happy about any threat to his kingdom. But the true king, the King of Kings, Jesus, has been born just as God has promised, but he is a weak, innocent baby. He cannot protect himself. And even as the story is just beginning, there's already these threats to the life of the king who would ultimately lay down his life willingly for you and for me. So as you read Matthew chapter 2, be reminded of how God has been working from the foundations of the earth to bring about our redemption. Here's a summary of today's reading. For more information, go to tunemyheart.org.